Green Circle talks today with Ashley Lodge, currently a senior publisher in Pearson's Oxford office and chairman of the Publishers Green Network. Previously, he worked as a corporate responsibility manager at HarperCollins UK. Hello, Ashley.
Hi, Joanna.
Thank you for being with us.
You're welcome.
Could you talk a little bit about the work, challenges and achievements of your work in HarperCollins?
Okay, so when I was at HarperCollins, some of the work that I did was very much around two main areas: the environment and what we could call charity and community or social impact work. So with the environment, what we did was to do a good look across all of our different environmental impacts and see ways that we could reduce them. So I worked, for example, with the group procurement team so that we could look at ways of reducing our energy consumption, because a big bit of what we were doing at the time was to go carbon neutral. And in order to go carbon neutral, it was very important for us to calculate our carbon footprint. That was all of the carbon emissions related to kind of energy consumption, refrigerants and travel, was what we call our operational carbon footprint. So we worked with lots of different agencies to then reduce that down by doing different policies to get employees to use less energy, to find more ways that we could be efficient with water use, that we could reduce or streamline business travel to encourage people to do more kind of teleconferencing and things like that. And through that, we were able to baseline and get a measurement of our carbon footprint and then set targets to reduce it down year on year. At the same time, I then worked with the group production director, and we worked to look to see how we could maximise our what we call FSC Forest Stewardship Council paper. And at the time, I think we became one of the publishers that had the highest proportion of books printed on FSC paper. And we actually worked with FSC to produce a new logo that went on the back of books to help inform consumers about what FSC meant, because many consumers didn't fully understand what FSC stood for. And then on the other hand, we part of the work that I did was the more charity and community social impact work. And there was a big project we were sponsoring abroad in Ghana. And our Ghana project consisted of working with 4 different schools there. And we were donating computers and software, and at the same time providing funds for them to set up computer labs to help with the teaching in schools, and also supplying kind of internet connections, but also then training the teachers up so that they could use the software and the computers to the best, but also then helping them to become sustainable so that they could then continue to use the computers and ensure that they could provide funds to keep the internet connection going. But that was really important, and making sure that projects are sustainable is very, very important, rather than just kind of parachuting in and then coming out. And then we also then worked on more local, more kind of national UK-based projects, such as a big national literacy trust and partnership that we had to help raise literacy levels here in more deprived communities in Britain. So those are the kind of the two main things that I looked after when I was there at HarperCollins.
What about some initiatives you have been involved in Pearson?
So since I joined Pearson, which has been about 6 years now, I've been involved in a variety of different corporate responsibility projects. I mean, it's not part of my daytime role. I mean, my day job, my 9-to-5 job is being a senior publisher, so I look after kind of publishing and list maintenance and strategy across primary schools publishing. But because I'm very passionate about the environment and social impact, Pearson have been very good at involving me in different projects. So when I joined, I worked with our CSR director, and we did a collaboration with the Woodland Trust, whereby we sponsored 2,000 Seeds to Trees kits into schools in the UK. So we provided the funds for these whole kits, so the seeds, the soil, the propagators, information packs, and then we produced educational resources, interactives to help to explain the importance of trees in helping with the environment. And we also had a staff engagement day. I organised the staff from my department to go up to one of what's going to be one of Britain's, I suppose, biggest forests, that's going to be created, that's in the process of being created at the moment, Heartwood Forest, near St Albans, and we went there for a staff planting day. And we had a competition in teams, we had to get people planting as many trees as possible. So that was great for staff engagements, that people could, from the business, could understand the difference we were making. And then more recently, I've become involved in a social impact project. So we have a big flagship social impact project called Project Literacy. We're an educational company, we're publishers, and one of the most important things for us is to help drive up literacy rates, especially in poorer and more developing countries. So as part of that, I've been seconded to the social impact team, and under this kind of Project Literacy banner, I'm working with a charity, and we're looking at developing an app or reiterating an app that's currently used in sub-Saharan Africa, and doing a pilot and hopefully deploying it in India that will give people basically a free library of books. Because in developing world countries, books are quite expensive and quite hard to come by in certain rural areas. Whereas mobile phone, kind of basic mobile phone, smartphones, are being used, and if you can get data, you can actually read the books or download them. So we're looking as to how we can drive up literacy rates by doing that. And that's really good because it draws on all my experience as a publisher, as a person who was trained as a teacher, and as a person who understands corporate responsibility.
Thank you very much. It was a great interview.
Thank you, and it's been a real pleasure to have the chance to talk about corporate responsibility stuff I've been doing. Thank you for the opportunity.